There are two issues you seem to be raising. Number one, you are suggesting that if at all states are expected to take a cue from the centre, then the centre should have consulted the state both when raising the taxes and now when lowering the taxes. Your critics will argue that when, for example, the DMK was in power with the UP at the centre between 2004 and 14, it's not as if every time taxes were raised or cut, the states were consulted. I mean, you seem to be arguing, saying that consultation should take place.
No problem. Then let's go back to that. Let the Constitution apply. Why all of a sudden do you have a new moral ground or a new standard or a new bedrock that every time they cut we have to act on their cue? We act as we see fit. The Constitution empowers us to do so. We have multiple responsibilities to balance. After 1 year of record improvement in our finances, we still have almost 50,000 crore revenue deficit. That is grossly outside the FRBM-FRA Act. If we don't correct that, who will we go to and ask for authorization? Again, back to the union government. So, we are doing as we see fit. The Chief Minister will tell me what day to cut. Let us be very clear. Two things benefit Tamil Nadu greatly compared to the country average. Our inflation is only about 5.4%. The country average is 8%. In some states, it's more than 9%. Number two, our growth has been really good above 9% for the last year and projected this way. So we don't yet see the need to take any additional action. I've already told you we have lost almost 2,000 crores of revenue on petrol and diesel because of the union's cut. Before that, we voluntarily cut before the union cut in 2021 November. We cut in August. We lost money then also. So we are managing our finances the way the people who elected us expect us to do under the Constitution. We don't take cues from anybody.
Therefore, your second reluctance seems to come from the fact that you cannot take more strain on your revenue. Now, you might recall the Prime Minister last month had invoked the spirit of cooperative federalism, saying had Karnataka not cut taxes, it would have collected an additional over 5,000 crores in revenue. Gujarat would have collected 3,500, 4,000 crores more. If certain states can do it, why can't others? The indication was that Tamil Nadu, Bengal, today Mamata Banerjee is also saying that she's not going to cut taxes because she wants additional revenues.
You can't keep parroting these propaganda statements. I ask you two questions. My friend Kanubhai Desai has not cut in Gujarat this time. Why don't you remind me of that? Why don't you tell me that Madhya Pradesh still has the highest VAT on petrol? Is it a BJP government running Madhya Pradesh or a DMK government running Madhya Pradesh? You guys take collective data.
The fact, Dr. Thiagarajan, just a minute, sir. One minute. Dr. Thiagarajan, at the moment, petrol prices, rupees per litre, Delhi 96.72, Kolkata 106.03, Mumbai 111.35, Chennai 102.63, Bengaluru 101.94, Ahmedabad is 96.49, so Ahmedabad much lower. The difference between Ahmedabad and Mumbai is 15 rupees. Between Ahmedabad and Chennai is 6 rupees.
Mumbai is Mumbai, Gujarat is Gujarat, Tamil Nadu is Tamil Nadu. There's a reason the Constitution envisioned as having states. Every state's finances are in a different situation. Gujarat doesn't have a revenue deficit nearly as bad. We inherited a mess from our predecessors after 8 years. Ask me what is the inflation in Gujarat and what is the inflation in Tamil Nadu. My inflation is lower. We are managing the economy better. In almost any statistic, from GSDP growth to inflation to revenue deficit, not to revenue, to fiscal deficit, to improvement in 1 year, Tamil Nadu has outperformed any other state or the union.
So the revenue deficits that exist today, sir, with due regard, the revenue deficits that exist in several states, including Bengal run by Mamata Banerjee or DMK run Tamil Nadu, is also because of the enormous amounts you will have spent on the so-called freebies. You make all these promises and then find you don't have the budgets to meet it.
At least as well as you, right? Surely I know my job at least as well as you. I know how to get the outcome that my Chief Minister tells me to get. We will have better growth, lower revenue deficit, lower fiscal deficit, come into compliance in 2 years, and we have inflation contained and jobs and growth being created. We want to be left alone to do our job without being intruded on by somebody whose average performance in every measure, in every statistic, is much worse than Tamil Nadu's. Please let us do our job. Don't try to drag us down to some lowest common denominator. Leave us be.